Well, hey everyone, it is Sunday again. We are 1 week, actually less than a week. We are 5 days away from my first market of the season. The weather forecast has been all over the place. We started off with partly cloudy, then scattered thunderstorms, then mostly sunny, and it's stayed like 3 days in a row. The forecast has stayed at mostly sunny. Let's keep our fingers crossed. And let's be very hopeful for some drier air, because it is so awfully humid out there. You step outside and the air is so thick, it just takes your breath away. So anyhow, I've been getting prepared. I have been pricing. Oh my gosh, what a job. What a job. I probably have selected way too many items to take with me for this little market. But October, November, and December, I have one big market in each of those months. I'm looking at this Friday as pretty much setup practice because I've added so many new things to the lineup with the scrunchies and bandanas and market bags and all those different things. Purchased a few different display pieces. I have my new banner, just all kinds of different things. And like, I'm actually going to be brave enough to take more than just 1 or 2 loveys with me, because the ones that I've been making have not had the safety eyes in them, and I feel a lot more comfortable with that. So yeah, I need some practice. And then if we have a good market, then that's just like a major bonus. So there's that. So with all the pricing that I've been doing and putting together a large online order, I've been pretty occupied this week. And I've only made a few things. Well, like 4 different things, but multiples of them. Yeah. I still have things I want to get done. I was taking the Juicy Couture Velvet and using up the full skein and making the 4 scrunchies to get the skein out of the way. But I might have to change up my plan on that, because I would like at least one of each color for representation, for testing my idea for displaying these scrunchies. I think I have 5 or 6 more colors. So I want to get scrunchies. I need to make a Sally to go along with my Jack. I have the last 2 of the Chonkymon that I want to get made. And for the most part, that is it, because I have a lot of plushies to choose from. I'm hoping that the Loaf Cats do as well for me as I hear they're doing for everyone else. So I've been making some more of those. I want to make some more of the Loaf Dogs. I have 4 of these smaller size ones and 3 of the larger with the Bernat. So I want to make some more of those. I probably won't get a whole lot more done this week. It's not like I'm lacking for inventory. I have plenty. And Lord knows it's not all going to fit on the table. So, and it was hard to choose what to take. I found myself gravitating towards the newer items. And I'm trying to make myself mix it up. Some of the older stuff, some of the newer stuff. And it's hard because like the loaf cats. It's like, oh, this is my new favorite pattern. So you make a whole bunch, and then that's what you want to take with you. And then you still have all these other things that need to find their forever homes. So anyhow, what did we make this week? Well, first, I wanted to say one thing about pricing. Well, a couple of things about pricing. Don't do what I did. Price it as you go. I mean, having to sit down and price over 400 plushies is like, what a chore. And you really need to, 'cause what I found from some of the other ones, like my elephant had a cat price tag on it and something else had a different price tag on it. It's like, how did that happen? So you have to, well, you don't have to, but you should write down, like if you're pricing a loaf cat, write loaf cat and then the dollar amount. Because if you just do a dollar amount, we know how people are. If the tag works its way loose and comes off, and that tag is a better price than what's on something else, they might swap them out. You just never know. I don't know. But don't wait to do it. My new resolution is, if I make it and I have it on my desk to show you guys, before it gets moved into a tote, it has to be priced. And other than saving myself this giant chore, the reason behind that is you might get a new pattern and you are super motivated about it and really excited, and you make a bunch and you put them away, and then you go to pull them out for market, and then you start to second guess yourself on the price. So say when you were making it, you had a $20 price tag in mind, but then when it comes to actually pricing it, you're like, should I do 20? No, maybe 15. Oh, well, maybe 18. And if you go with your gut instinct to begin with, I think you're going to be better off. Because I found myself doing that quite a bit. Like, I had things where I'd made multiple, and at the time of making them, I was thinking it was going to be this one price, and then I'm looking at it again, and I'm like, you know, like the enthusiasm is wore off on that pattern, I guess you could say. And I found myself second and third guessing myself on what I had wanted to charge. So it was like an internal battle with trying to do my prices. So I'll show you what I have, but before they get put away into a tote, they are going to be priced. To start off with, I finished the third market bag. And this one, instead of using the Lily Sugar and Cream, I used Lion Brand's 24/7 cotton. Now, it was my first time using this cotton yarn. It was an absolute pleasure to work with. However, I don't think it's the proper cotton for a market bag. This has like major stretch in it. And I know you're going to get a little stretch, but it's got a lot of stretch. And I think it actually came out a little bit smaller because the yarn is not as thick as the other. I think this one's a 3 weight and the other is a 4. But this is a thick 3. But it's not quite as thick as that thick 4 with the Lily Sugar and Cream. But it turned out pretty. And this was for John's sister, her custom order. She ordered 3 bags. And this one was where she wanted the cranberry and the navy. And we ended up going with the burgundy color. Most of you guys said burgundy would be the closest, and that is what she picked. So that order is now complete and off my plate, and that feels wonderful for that to be the case. So we finished that this week. Then I think I was sitting there doing pricing, and I get a message on Instagram from Amanda. I believe that's her name, Amanda. It's A Parlin Project. And she's like, you need some Florida things. And I'm like, I have all kinds of sea creatures. And she's like, you need a manatee. And I'm like, well, I've had manatees, and I still have my 2 large ones from Teresa's Crochet Shop. But I think because they're bigger and they're very plain, there's like, it's just this really plain, boring gray color that I used. It might be why. That's probably going to be one of those things to move them along. I'm going to have to mark the price way down because they've been, at least one of them has been at almost every single market with me and nothing. I had tried a free manatee pattern. I think I made 2 of those and they sold eventually. Well, she sent me her manatee pattern. And so I tried it. I made 3, but I don't know where the 3rd one is. So I think when I was gathering up that big internet order, I might have put it away in one of the totes because it's nowhere to be found out and about. It is in one of the totes. I'm just not sure which one. So I can't show you the 3rd one. Now, her little manatee pattern is different way different from that free one. I think that this pattern actually looks more like the shape of a realistic manatee. Now this one I did, this was the second one I did. And she has a couple of different tail options, so I was trying a different tail option. This one was much easier, but it made my manatee shorter. But I do like the shape. So I tried, when I showed John the first one, he says, well, shouldn't it be like a tan color? And I'm like, aren't manatees kind of gray? So I picked the, I think it's sand with the Michael's yarn and did the tan. My first one I did was this blue one. And again, I think it has a great shape where it like really looks like the manatee shape. And I tried the other tail option, but I think I got lost on my stitch count. And this one is a little longer than that one because of the difference in the tails. Unless I added extra rows in this. Like, I don't know. The 3rd one I did using a variegated Bernat. And of course it turned out even bigger. And that's the one I'm not sure where it's at. Because I had this place tore apart looking for all the plushies that was ordered for that order. And I may have accidentally picked it up and put it in one of the totes. So this one, I love the shape. I mean, to me, it just really looks like a manatee. Then it reminded me, because of that, it reminded me that I had actually purchased a manatee pattern that I hadn't made yet. And that is Marley the Manatee from Coffee and Crochet. So I was like, well, let me try a couple of those and see what I like better. And just for comparison, and I'm not saying anything bad about either one of these patterns, but just for comparison, for like if it's realistic or not, look at this guy's shape. And then there's this one. Now this one ends up bigger, much fatter. Plus I did use Bernat Baby on this one. But This one was easier, but this one looks more real. And not that this was hard. It was just a lot of maneuvers to make the shapes happen. So you had to pay attention, especially around the head, the snout and the head area. You had to pay attention to what you were doing to get your shape. So I did this one in blue, and then I picked a light blue. Now all of these are Bernat Baby. And then I picked this green. So this one was the first one. And then this blue was just that much thicker, and it came out bigger. And then this green, while it's a gorgeous green, it's definitely the old formula, and it came out even that much bigger. So, if you were looking for manatee pattern, you would have to decide what it is that you like. I think that the face on this is way more realistic than the face on this. Just saying. And out of the Bernat, it did come out a good size. I wish I knew what tote I stuck that in so I could show you. I have just no idea or desire to look through all these totes again, because I was in every single tote putting this order together. It's a very large order, and none of my boxes are big enough. I already tried 2 stores and couldn't find a box. I have one more option locally to go and find a box. Otherwise, I might have to recycle or Frankenbox it again. So I'd rather not do that. I'd rather have a nice, clean, fresh box. So that is on my agenda today. So we talked about those and those. Okay, so while I was digging through all these totes, selecting what I wanted to take and putting that order together, I realized I don't have as many turtles, sea turtles, or land turtles as I thought I had. So I was gonna make, and I did this yesterday, it's all I made yesterday. I made one sea turtle using Chastity Ann Designs Myrtle the turtle. And this one I did out of Michael's yarn, and it came out a nice size. Now I notice I stitched my legs on facing the wrong direction. Of course. I like All From Jade's turtle pattern a lot. This is much quicker. There's not as many rounds, and whether you use Parfait Chunky or you use the Michael's yarn, it still comes out to a decent little size, and it is faster. So I have one sea turtle. That's all I got made yesterday. So in my pricing journey, I get another message on Instagram, and this one is from Nancy. Nancy's awesome. She keeps sending me all these cool patterns, or not patterns, but like images of new patterns that they're not free. You know, you have to go and buy them if you want them. But she keeps sending me some really cool ones, plus pattern tester calls and stuff like that. So she sends me this one that is a modification of a pattern that I already have, and the modification is free. And I'm looking at this, so I message her back, and I'm like, now you know I have to make these, right? So I took the time, and I have enough squid for, I would think, a couple of markets, but I had to make these squid. And I know I said I didn't want to do a whole lot of Halloween stuff, but I couldn't pass on these. So I started with the easiest one first. So there is the candy corn squid. Now, of course, John couldn't see it. He kept wanting to call it a pumpkin. And I'm like, dude, what is the one fall item that is yellow, orange, and white? Every year. It's a constant. It's a given. It is the one fall item. He still couldn't guess it. But for that matter, Sue's husband didn't get it either. So sometimes some men just don't have imagination. Now, I will say that Frank usually guesses them, but for some reason, these just didn't click with him. Didn't click with John either, so. We have the candy corn, and I think it's adorable. Then I moved to the next easiest one, so I thought. And this one is, a skeleton, in case you couldn't tell. This one I could see them not being able to guess that it was a skeleton. But that's pretty cool. Now, when I say I thought it was the next easiest one, I wasn't taking into consideration that every other tentacle was the opposite color of the previous one. So there was a lot of color changing at the end. But I think it's cool. You know, I think this could even double as a ghost. It doesn't necessarily have to be a skeleton. I think it could double as a ghost. So we have that one. Then I moved on to the next one that I thought that would be easy. And we have Franken squid. And this is a true Franken squid. So the reason I say that is somehow I ended up with 12 arms, legs, tentacles, whatever you want to call them. And I'm like, what? But then I was like, you know what? It doesn't matter, because the Frankenstein monster was put together out of pieces of other things, and he's a true Franken squid since he has extra arms or legs or tentacles, whatever you want to call them. So I won't charge extra for that. It just somehow happened. I mean, it's not like I've never ended up with a 9-legged octopus before. But he's cute. And then the very last one is a zombie. Now, I'm not sure. It's like, it's too cute to be a zombie, but it's a zombie. I didn't have red eyes, like you should use red eyes for this, purple eyes for this one. The other two with the black are fine. So I just put the red yarn around the edges, you know, like you would the white, to have that effect of the red. And I'm just like, I don't want to buy more. I need to use what I have. So we have the zombie squid. And this is Plushico. Her regular baby squid pattern, and the modifications were free to go along with those. And I think they're really cute. So I have one of each of those. We'll see what happens with that. And I'm like ending up with more Halloween stuff than I wanted. But I didn't get to have fun with this last year. This year I'm getting to have fun with it. So then just sporadically throughout the weekend, I've got this pattern memorized now. I made a few of Mag's masterpiece, her loaf cats. So I did one more with the mystical. And I can't remember the name of this one. This one's the Bernat baby that I picked up at Walmart. So I did another one of those. Then the other color that I picked up when I was at Walmart, because the yarn aisle was right next to the pet section, and I was there to get cat litter, and I took a detour down that aisle, and I picked out 2 colors. This one is called Cloud 9. It's not like necessarily the cat colors, but I like that little bit of purple in it. So I did 3 of those. 3. And like I said, I've got this memorized. When I was watching Heather's live on Wednesday, I was halfway through one when it started, and by the time it was finished, I had finished that one plus 2 more, and didn't lose my count. Didn't end up with a cat that needed a bikini wax or anything. So I thought I did pretty good with that. That's one that I think I could sit at the market and not have to worry. There's only a couple of rounds that I have to use the stitch marker on to make sure I don't mess up. Like when I'm doing the increase up to 30, and then when I start the decrease from 30 back down to 24. Those are the only 2 rounds that I use a stitch marker on. But if I were to sit there and make them at market, I would use a stitch marker on every round. Otherwise, I could end up with a loaf cat this long. You just never know. Gosh, I'm getting excited about the market. It's been so long. It's been a long time. And for the most part, I'm ready. I do want to launder my tablecloths. I've got the plushies all picked out, and what I'm taking with me is, for the most part, priced already. I have a couple of more little things to price. I need to price these because these are going, I got to take advantage of every opportunity. I have 3 opportunities to sell any Halloween items before Halloween. So they have to go to every market. So we need to make a few scrunchies, make 2 more chunky mon, the 2 that I don't have. I mean, it wouldn't be the end of the world if I didn't have them, but I would like to have them. Now I don't remember what else I said. I'll have to watch my own video. I need to start making a list. Maybe a few more birds on a swing. Those are quick and easy. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I have 9, but there's 1 more empty peg on the spinner, on the one shelf. Scrunchies. Now, I already forgot what I just said. All right, you guys. I am going to... My loaf cats are already priced. They can get put away. I am going to price this stuff. Put everything away where it should go. Good luck with that one. And maybe I'll just do some laundry today and get that out of the way. All right. I will see you guys in the next video.